Let's start a scene. Oh, what the hell is that? My camera's being dumb. Hi there. Oh, you know what? I covered up my camera with the little cover because one day I was walking by and I saw the little light on my camera. Usually I've got the whole laptop closed, but that's not something that should happen. Um, I normally don't worry about such security, but it's like, I know it's possible to hack into people's cameras at home. I'm going to move my mic here in a minute so I quit hitting it with my apron. I put in my, on my Aquilo apron. You know, I did the other day. I did it again and I left my mic. I'm going to put my mic in the Aquilo tree. No such thing as an Aquilo tree. I left it on my shirt. Changed shirts. Figured it out later in the day. Oopsie. Um, right. Okay. Uh, so today I'm gonna take off my rings. I want to make shepherd's pie. Happy Pie Day. Yeah, go run with the pun and be a complete dork. Oh, forgot an ingredient already. Um, and go ahead and make a pie. As a matter of fact, I was gonna make it in an oval casserole, and then I was like, well, I mean, if I'm gonna be a dork about the pun, I should make it in a round thing, right? So I'm gonna use this big skillet, and also that's using less pans, which I love, because I can. This is an oven safe one that I can just toss right in the oven when I've got everything assembled. I'm September, also known as 9 of 12. I love to cook and I want to do what I've been doing since October. I've been streaming a really long time, but it's only since October that I've been food streaming, and I want to share with everyone that you can cook too. So many people I've heard my whole life say, I can't cook. Oh, I wish I could cook. You can do it. You could do it. I believe in you. There's a lot of things that we just weren't taught, or we made a mistake once and then we think, oh, I can't do it. Go ahead and give it a shot. And you just can get better and better at it. And I'm mostly self-taught. I'm a home cook. I was, typical Gen X latchkey kid. Mom worked long shifts. Dad was gone. And um, so for me, oh my gosh, I'm hungry. What's in the fridge? What's in the freezer? What's in the cupboard? Smell this, taste this, figure it out. But I still grew to love food. My mom did used to take me to nice restaurants and interesting restaurants, and then I'd want to learn how to make that, which later in life I got to explore more, and keep exploring. Um, I'm taking some of you on that journey with me, especially lately as I've been working on more Indian cuisine than I ever had in my life, and finding that hey, I could do that too. And it's a great thing because I live in a small southern town and we don't have Indian restaurant here. But today I'm gonna make shepherd's pie. I grew up with a variation of this as a regular thing. Um, Now I know technically that's cottage pie. People get all precious about it. I went ahead and called it shepherd's pie and don't have to listen to the hate as far as I'm concerned on the internet because I am using lamb. The major difference really is shepherd's pie, obviously shepherd's sheep, lamb, um, ground mince, whatever. And if you use beef, it's technically a cottage pie, right? Um, Look, Froggy. I don't know how one of my kids or one of my cats must have brought that frog out from the other streaming setup in my son's room. Okay. I'm gonna. I grew up with it just being the gravy part was a can of tomato soup, and I still kind of just want that sometimes. I've been making it from scratch for a long time, but so I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna throw a can of tomato soup in there, and hey, no harm, no foul. It is a great shortcut. That little bit of sweetness, it's a different thing, but it's a wonderful thing. I am going to, the shortcut I'm going to use today is I'm doing the carrots from raw. I'm using a can of corn that I still left over from when we were doing the food pantry. I'm using frozen peas. Frozen peas are always great. They freeze them right after picking them. Um, I'm going to use tomato um, beef stock in a carton. Um, you could use mushroom stock. You could use whatever. And I'm going to use some tomato paste and I'm going to taste it. I'm going to see if I want to add. I do have some fresh tomatoes I got because I really want a hamburger with a fresh tomato on it soon. And I'll throw that in if I feel like it needs it after tasting. But, you know, I'll be using some Worcester and some thyme and rosemary from my garden that I will crush up in my mortar and pestle. I'll be using this one today, my Witch's Brew one. It's nifty. It's got like ridges, ceramic ridges, so it does grind really well with hard things like that rosemary. Um, but I am going to be shortcutting with da-da-da, instant mashed potato. Ever since I gave that a go with the pierogi, I am completely not averse for this application to just. This seems like a great way to shortcut getting your shepherd's pie done and in the oven. So let's see. Butter. Let's start there because I'm doing a double batch of the mash. So I need like 4 tablespoons of butter and 2 2/3 whoops, cup of water. I'm using the Instapot. It's right here. If I put it on saute, I can just like keep an ear out and an eye out for when it boils. Okay, so let's get butter and milk. Do, 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 do. And I guess that's another shortcut technically is there's 2. Oh, I might not have enough, but I do have a tiny bit shy of milk. I'm using the shelf-stable milk that I got so that I have milk for a recipe when I want it. My kids won't just use it all up. But I did get a gallon today, so they will be able to also drink milk. It'll probably be gone tomorrow. That's how they do. Oh, I didn't start this. There we go. Okay. 2/3. And again, I don't have to be too precious about that. I just put milk instead of water. For the 2 2/3. I only needed a third a cup of milk. You know what? Fact. Oh, I keep doing this. I never do this when I'm just cooking at home, you guys. Or when I'm cooking without you guys, I should say. It's okay. I got this. I got this. Let's pull this up. And there's a little black flecks in there. Must have been pepper. I was pouring pepper and salt earlier into containers. Must have gotten the Instapot. All right. It's okay. hadn't started actually heating yet. So let's put all that butter back. My kids gonna end up with a drink of water or a drink of milk sooner than they wanted it. Let's try again. 2 2/3 cup of water. And you bring the water and butter to a boil. And give me a break. This is like the second time in my life I've made instant mash. Okay. And the salt. I'll put salt there. And then I'm going to need 2/3 of a cup of milk. So, oh, I forget I don't look over my glasses anymore. I got new ones. All right, there's the milk we're going to add after. And then now I got leftover milk. I'm a little tempted. I've got a Diet Pepsi or a Diet Cola here I'm about to drink that I could milk and Pepsi it like a weirdo. Have a dirty soda. I guess they call that in Utah. Yes, I tried it a la Laverne and Shirley because I'm old. And it tastes kind of like a root beer float, which I don't hate. But I don't have my dairy milk in, and I don't want to drink a lot of milk right now because it'll give me a tummy ache. And it's the weather's pretty good here today in North Carolina, and we're talking about maybe having some friends over for a fire later. Okay, so when it boils, add the milk, stir the potatoes, and that'll be good. Let's get these out of the way and get down to some of the for scratch things. This salt doesn't even need to be here because I filled my cellar. Okay, let's go. Yes, there's butter all over my knife. No big deal. I'm gonna turn the burner on now to start getting it started. I'm gonna go carrots first because they take the longest. I'll get the carrots and onions going, and then I'll put in the meat and get that all browned up, and we'll take it from there. I love lamb. It definitely is it's a very, well, relatively, it's a very different flavor from beef. It's gamier. And gamey is not a bad word to me. I grew up with venison and stuff, which is gamier than, the ground beef, I guess, that most people grow up with. But for me, I moved away down south here and didn't have access to venison for a long time. And man, it took me so long to freaking figure out what was wrong with my chili that I've been making my whole life. Like, just not right, adding things, trying to figure it out. And then the light bulb went out one day. I was like, oh my God, it's because it's beef. My dad was an avid hunter, and for as long as he was able. And when I lived up north, until I was in my 30s, I kind of always had venison available to me. Even at my poorest. Well, no. I guess at my poorest, I didn't really have a fridge or freezer to keep it. I was sleeping on a couch, but I could have. You can also shortcut, obviously, this with other canned vegetables or frozen. Like if you get peas and carrots mixed, done. Good. Fine. If you want to add other vegetables like green beans, turnips, like root veg are great. Just keep in mind, you want some idea if you need to look up on the internet because you don't know the different rates that things cook at. So that everything does have time to get tender. Hence why I'm doing the carrots first, being a root veg. They take longer. I'll cut these up into fairly even sized pieces so they come out about the same time. But again, it's not the end of the world. If your veggies are still not, if they're still a little, you know, got a little crunch, big deal. If it's something that when you're tasting it before you put in the oven, you're like, ah, man, these need more time than just the 25 minutes in the oven still to cook through. Don't put cheese on the top. Put some foil over it. Cook it a little longer. Give a little taste of what's under the potato. And then just, throw the cheese on for like a 5-minute broil to finish it. Use the oven to your advantage to fix it if you've not quite got it right to that point. Not the end of the world. And it's not like undercooked meat. You could just eat it. It'll be better the next day. Stuff like this always is anyway. All right, that's boiling. So, boy, that was nice and quick. I should have had this back over here. So, milk. You get a fork. Oh, we have the right tool for this. I forgot salt. Ha ha ha! Remember just now. It's okay, it just needs like a teaspoon. This is a half teaspoon. So, and pour in your instant mash. Now you can do all kinds of things to play around with your mash. It's going to go on top of the shepherd's pie after the filling done with a topper. You can throw some cream in here. You can throw some sour cream in here. You can throw cheese in it. You can throw Parmesan cheese in it, cheddar cheese, whatever cheese you like. Not sure if I'm going to do that. They seem a little dry. I'm gonna add is some parsley. Yeah, I know it's hot. That I've been drying. I got for something else we cooked here. Probably the tabbouleh at the contest on Super Bowl Sunday. And then I just bundled it and hung it from a basket handle. I didn't want to get out the whole dehydrator for a bit of parsley I didn't want to waste. Just hung it to dry, and this is a really good. I'm putting this parsley in now because it will be able to hydrate in these potatoes and get an actual little flavor back out, as well as just being pretty. I think I'm gonna put a bit of garlic powder in it too, because I like it. I'm kind of a no such thing as too much garlic person. Like I said, follow the directions, but it's a little dry to me, and then we are going to be baking on top something earlier, so I'll put a little extra liquid, won't hurt. Garlic powder, maybe quarter to a half. There we go, now it's coming together a lot better. That's pretty yummy. I've decided if I'm going to add cheese to that topping yet. I may or not. It's not a necessary thing. All right. Get back to our carrots, shall we? I think I'm going to do this last one as well. And you can see about the size I'm doing. 1/4 inch by a 1/2 inch. You can do cubes. If you get frozen ones, you don't have to do any of this. If you get frozen peas and carrots, you'd put them in after you brown the meat. You're doing from fresh. Peas would go in kind of absolutely last after the gravy and everything is done. But carrots, like I said, root veg want to go first. I've got onions and celery. I'm also going to be sauteing and then getting that meat all finishing together. That's a lot of carrot. I don't need any more carrot than that. I'm going to start with olive oil. Really like this thing, gotta tell you. Hey, this was not a TikTok fail. That was a success. Okay, do this so you can see the pan and me. How we doing? Okay, it's not sizzling hot, but it is on to give it a little head start as those burners are cast iron. They take a bit. Celery isn't even necessary. I've got kind of an abundance, and I had some go bad recently, and I don't want that to happen again. So I'm going ahead and putting on in. It can't hurt. It's just like with a soup, you know, you do in your mirepoix, do your carrots, onions, celery together, and it's just another layer of some flavor, a little something, something. Like you could add celery seed or celery salt as a seasoning in a shepherd's pie. It would go in there great. It would taste great. Just putting the greens in would be a nice add, in my opinion. We'll see for sure as we come along here, because who knows? It's going to make it better. It's going to be noticeable. I think it'll just be a little better, but not in a way you could tell why. I'm going to put, I think, a whole onion in here. I love onion. And this is a sweet onion, a Vidalia. So it's not going to add heat or anything. If you wanted to, you could put heat in this. You could put red onion. You could put some cayenne in it. I'm not doing any of that. I've seen, this is a fairly traditional cottage pie per seasoning. It's just, you know, Worcester and tomato stuff. Lamb. But people do all kinds of different ones. I feel like if I'm going to go crazy and do something like a curry or an Indian mincemeat thing, I just as soon put it in a whole crust and do that kind of pie or a hand pie. Let's see how many times I can say pie today because it's pie day. I know my son came out on my middle and found that I was making this for us. He's the only one in the house besides me who will eat this. And recited pie to, I don't know, maybe 10 numbers. He's like, that's all I got. It's more than I got. I never memorized anything extra like that. But his teachers had some kind of contest. I am going to put a little salt and start the first layer of flavor in with my veg. So I could be showing more of the cutting, right? So I'm really good at it for not being a professional. I don't know if anyone noticed that have been watching. I'm not using the Forged in Fire knife. My papa, my dad, got me. My kids call him Papa. Because you know what? It's just not great. It's fine, but I'm lazy. I mean, it's one thing you don't have great knives and you have to keep sharpening them. Every time you use them, you have to sharpen them. Some knives. This commercial white blade handled. I got 2 of these. He gave me this chef's knife and another thinner knife. It's a Tramontina stainless steel from Brazil. Like, this thing keeps an edge so well. I hardly ever have to sharpen it. And I just appreciate that time savings. So, get the head start on my carrots. And when they start to get tender, I'm going to add the onion. And then when the onion gets soft, the carrot should be about where I want it, almost, which is, pretty much cooked. And then I'm going to add the lamb and brown it. Or no, then I'm going to add, yes, then I'm going to add the lamb, get that browned. And then I'm going to add the garlic. Because we don't want the garlic scorching. We just want all its good flavors. I'm having a heck of a time getting this bulb off. Oh, it's small. I want two. I got to get over to get the good garlic again soon. I'm fortunate to live near Compare Foods, which is kind of an Hispanic grocery, and their garlic is so much better than the garlic in the other stores. It's bigger, fresher, nice red veined kind, Sometimes they have elephant garlic over there, which I've never actually used. Indiana Jones in my head for no reason. Cooking's an adventure, I suppose. We are going to have about 25 minutes while this is cooking. Well, not cooking. We're cooking now. But when I throw it in the oven, I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do. Probably just ramble some more. Maybe I'll go through some of the weird cookbooks I've got, or cool cookbooks that you too can get a chance to win. Join my Discord. And participate and get your friends to follow. I've been just doing it every so many followers lately. If I meet a sub goal, my next sub goal, it's set down there somewhere. I'll go ahead and give a cookbook away. What else? I've got a throne list below. I've got an Amazon list that's not hard to find. If people buy me presents to help me keep this stream going, I'm going to consider that. I have to put, I can put less in the budget for doing the show, and we'll give away another cookbook for that reason. Any reason. I've got still 140 something, I think, cookbooks to give away, and some of them are really, really fun and cool. Definitely interesting. Very few doubles. Cyrenex, some of you know Sean. He's my co-host on Part-Time Gamers on Sunday nights. We'll be talking about, on his channel, Cyrenex, on Twitch. Follow him. We'll be talking about a game called That's Not My Neighbor. And on Wednesday nights, we've been playing Wildermyth. More time. On his channel with TV's Travis, also follow him, and Audie Norman, who's on Travis shows like Those Were the Days. Okay. What else can I prep for here? Oh, I can grind up some of our rosemary in thyme so it's ready to go in. Fresh rosemary. I'll just make a rosemary thyme blend in a proportion I think is good. It's probably going to amount to the amount I'm making. Oh, that's black pepper. Nope. There's probably 2 teaspoons of rosemary in there, and I'll put like a teaspoon of thyme. Dried herbs are, and then I may or may not use it all, but probably. That's my guess. I like it herby. Dried herbs are stronger, not less enough, and unless they're really, really old and hanging than fresh herbs because they've been hanging out. You want to use dried herbs, if you don't know. earlier in the cooking process, take time to hydrate and spread your flavors. You want to use fresh herbs at the end of a process so their oils are nice and fresh and coming out on the top at the end of your dish. Grindy. I got this cute witch's brew one at TJ Maxx. I think. Might have been Aldi. No matter which one, I had to have it. So there we go. Nice little grind. We're seasoning our filling, shepherd's pie filling later. I'm gonna be patient. Carrots are slow. I just want to give them a little head start. They are going to have a little time to boil in, well, cook with the meat, cook with the onions. Oops, ow. Yep, just starting to get tender. Onions next. And yes, my baking scraper's in the other damn room again. I need like 16 of them. I just always want one on hand. That and my kids do the dishes and they don't think to put it back out here. They don't do all my cooking here. Sometimes I think about it, like, maybe some friends on the internet will join me while I cook this time if I do that. I don't want this pan to get too dry. I don't want it to be too wet. I'm going to get a little more oil just to keep it from sticking now. To give me a few more minutes before I get that lamb in there. The lamb is fattier than most of the ground beef you get. I find this stuff with the Never Any from Aldi. This is great. It's like, lamb raised without antibiotics and hormones and whatever. It's pretty good quality and not overly fatty. Sometimes they charge a ton in the grocery store and then it's like super fatty. You gotta dump so much off. I hate that. Apparently, had to go get my tomato paste. This was really good, surprising deal. I think it might have been, it was either Publix or Ingles, but I was surprised to see it. It's not something I always see around here, and it was a super reasonable price. So I'll just go until these onions are starting to get translucent. And then we'll get our meat browning. Do. I don't want to eat this carrot. It's sitting here doing nothing. Gotta drain the corn. If I can get it open, Be a lazy bum. Not just lazy. I'm more disabled than I usually like to admit. Not that I'm ashamed, it's just I'm always wanting to just do more than I can do. Really proud of Rob today. He's been getting pretty arthritic himself, but he was out today in the yard doing some seriously rough work. I'm just going to drain this with my hand and not a strainer, because it doesn't need to be perfectly dry or anything like that. And check my messages. I have a message. Oh, okay. See this? It's starting to get translucent. Let's get our lamb going. I am gonna turn up the heat a little bit because I don't want this to just gray out. I want to pull some flavor out of it. I want to get this brown. Again, not the end of the world if you don't achieve all that, but getting some fine with some stuff stuck to the bottom of the pan with your meat is going to be just great for when we get our gravy going later. If you want some fat in here when this is brown, and don't worry about draining it off unless you're being really, really particular. If you're doing that, you may as well make a chicken pie. But we'll put some flour in to effectively, like I talked about on the bechamel episode, same thing, except it's a roux for, when you make this kind of gravy. Like if you're making gravy from drippings, like turkey or chicken drippings, you mix a slurry of flour and water. With something like this, what we'll do is more like we did when we made the chicken stew thing, where I utilize the fat that comes out of this meat, and will be delicious from having all this veg cooked in it too, to sprinkle in some flour and cook it so it doesn't taste floury anymore, isn't raw, and then when we add liquid and it comes to a boil, it will thicken up. If you don't want to do that, you want to save some carbs because you're putting potatoes on top of this and need to save them somewhere, throw some arrowroot in after you get your gravy all delicious and cooking. I don't know why none of my bots go until really late. I'm gonna little more salt in here. I'm gonna put some pepper in here right now. That's the time. I have so many jars that look alike, but I like a decent amount of pepper. This is a good time for some nice black pepper. This is pepper I have in a thing. It's technically fresh ground. I mean, I did grind it from peppercorns a while back to use at the end of a bag. So not straight out the grinder, but still probably better than the mess stuff in a bottle. Although I do buy, that too. I buy the butcher grind. I like coarse ground pepper to just have handy in a shaker. Like I said, don't have to be precious about everything all the time. You want to use ground beef and call it a shepherd's pie, go right ahead. Like, stop being silly. There's hardly any fat rendering out of this, which is fine. It's fine. I'm going to hold off on more seasonings until I get a little brownness. I'm going to open this beef stock. I almost just used I do have some better than bouillon beef flavor, I think, left. But I was at the store and I wasn't sure. I almost used that or the mushroom one, but I haven't opened the mushroom yet. And I'm kind of saving that for when I get this cookbook development started. Because I really want, I wish my bot, I got to retime my bots. That's not working. Is it shout out? Sorry, I'm going to play around with my stream for a minute and try to give a shout out to Cyranex. Nope. I wonder if it doesn't work if he's not here. I have to look at my Nightbot. But yeah, Cyranex, Searanex, and TV's Travis. Follow them. Daniora, Daniora. She's the narrator for Aquilo. The apron I'm using is from a great podcast. It's a dramatic podcast with cozy horror, very kitchen witchy, and very horror. The author is J.F. Dubois, who's written great, sci-fi, but he's not continuing that right now. But fantastic horror books. Um, Ghost in the Shed and a couple others. But he's written this entire ongoing series that Amy Frost has been narrating called Aquilo. And they're coming out with a book based on the first season of that soon. I love it. I'm a huge fan. I mean, obviously, I've got the apron. Um, okay, this is browning nicely. It's got some juices in there. I'm going to get some flour out. No, I'm going to cook some moisture in first. You can add Worcestershire. Probably about 2 tablespoons. Um, Start with 1. That's how much. Some people like it more than others. You can add it later too at the end if your sauce is not up to the level of flavor you want it to be. So I'm going to cook this a little bit longer. I want my onions cooked a little more before I get the flour in there. But anyway, layers. Like, very seldom I find recipes, like everything's in there, like put this in here, and then put this in here, and then put this in here. But sometimes splitting up, even something like your salt, split it into half at the beginning and half toward the end. And then maybe leave out a little so that people can just, to taste, adds, a touch on top. Because flavor develops over time and over cooking, and there's a lot of different factors that can really benefit your almost any dish. I was watching Eat at Dad's the other day doing this cookie club. That he's my new favorite food streamer. And man, he made these cookies from a book called 108 Asian Cookies, which I'm starting to feel like I'm going to need to get. That garlic, it's right here. Let's not forget that. I do want to cook garlic before I get flour in too. Cool. Just don't want it to scorch. Perfect. Give that a few minutes. And they were black sesame and white chocolate, and they looked so good. So he took a bite of this cookie, and he became speechless and teared up, like started to cry about, like, just overwhelmed with how the experience of it and how good it was, how expected. And I was like, I'm not crazy. That happened to me once. I can't remember what it was. It was here. If one of you know, pop in the Discord or DM me, and like, if you remember what that was, I don't remember what it was. That I almost cried. It was so good. So I guess I'm not the only one who gets all emotional about food. So I feel like, is it a timing thing? I've been streaming, holy shit, almost an hour. Okay, streams me a little longer than it usually is today. My bots don't start working until I trigger 1, and then it starts doing other stuff. Okay. I smell the garlic. I smell the Worcester. Both coming through doing their stuff. I'm gonna grab the peas. Try to find them. Somebody else put the groceries away. Shit. Oh, good. Didn't put them anywhere too weird. That's good. Let's get some flour in here. Let's say just that much. It's about 2 tablespoons. Might be a little more. But yeah, roughly 2 tablespoons. And let's see, it pulled up all of the juices, the meaty juices. And I'm going to fond on the bottom, so when we get brown bits, that when we put the broth in here, we'll scrape that up, and that's going to give our gravy awesome flavor. I do definitely, you'd want to cook this a few minutes, because you don't want it to taste like just raw flour. That is the nest. I will go ahead and put the corn in here. It's not, totally dry, but it's mostly drained, so. Decide if I'm gonna put Parmesan and cheddar on this. I got some. How much sour cream do I have? I've got a cup. Ooh, I've got good. Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and put Parmesan in the top because remembered I have the good kind. And I'm gonna add a little sour cream just to give it another depth of flavor. Again, all unnecessary steps. Holy moly. Smells good in here, folks. The lamb is, oh, it's just next level. I know people think they don't like lamb, but give it another try in something like this that has so many, interesting flavors. Well, not interesting. Like, not interesting. Boring, familiar ingredients. Make a cottage pie. Make it with ground beef a couple times, and then I'm not going to put the peas in right away because I don't want them to cool this down. I want it to come up to boil to know how thick it's going to be. I'm going to say I probably should have measured that so you'd all know. But that was a good cup of broth. Probably going to put more in. But I wanted to bring it to boil because when it comes to a boil, then you know the full thickness that your flour is going to create. And the peas will kind of interfere with that. And they're, they've already been blanched, so they're going to come through fine from the 25 minutes or so this spends in the oven after we're all assembled. And it's going to be much prettier when the peas are in there. Or green beans if you like. Okay. So that's a good thickness. It gives us a little room. We could put more broth in here. Tastes all right. I'm going to add another half cup of broth, I'd say. And my herbs, which I probably should have added when I added the before I added the flour, but I'm going to put in a good teaspoon of that blend. It was probably 2 teaspoons, but rosemary and thyme. So then this can come up to a boil again. It'll blend with the herbs. I'll know what kind of flavor we're looking at overall. And of course, you can reduce it if you put too much broth in and it's feeling too thin for you. Of course, once it bakes in the oven, the potato starch will also maybe make it thicken up a little. If it doesn't, it's no big deal. It can be runny under that potato filling. Nobody is going to judge you. I'm not. I don't know where this weird accent keeps creeping in from today. It's almost like it's a weird Scottish accent that I don't have keeps trying to creep in. But this looks like a nice thickness to me. Let's get that back up to a boil, which will also give the herbs some time to do their thing. While I did that, I did my sorry. Oh, jeez. I could forget a few more things. About 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. There we go. Jeez. It would be fine without this, by the way. It tastes good. It tastes like a lamb stew right now. But that tomato paste is going to richen it up and give it a little sweetness almost. Not quite to the level of the canned tomato soup that I had thrown in here if I never expanded from what I grew up with. Or that, I should say, I still sometimes make that way because it tastes good to me. I know this is better for me. Okay, let's see how we got here. I don't want the veg really influencing my taste. More salt. More pepper. Good shot more. That might be a lot for some people. I know my kids are used to it. Not a whole lot more salt because I am going to throw a little bit more Worcester in. Maybe another tablespoon. Like I said, layers. That layer is going to add a different thing than putting it in when I was browning the meat did. I'm going to thin it out a bit, which will give me time to let it cook more. Say another half cup. I've used about half of this, and it's 32. So I've used about 2 cups, I'd say, is fair, of beef stock. You could use veg stock. You could use chicken stock. You could use water if you want. I mean, you've got all these other ingredients making flavor for you. I might put more herbs. Did I already do that? No. Okay, that definitely. Glad I waited a little bit. Yeah. I don't want to go stronger on the herbs. I love the thyme and rosemary flavor, but the rosemary is coming through strong now. I'm going to put another teaspoonish of the tomato in. And you might add a little bit of sugar to this. Not enough that it's, super sweet, but it would ramp up flavors, kind of the same way salt does. I am not because, well, that's not, I want this savory and salty today, and the peas and carrots and corn are plenty of sweet. Once you're actually eating it. Okay. This tastes great. I'm gonna add some peas. How much peas? That's 2 handfuls of peas. Probably a good cup. Enough to make it pretty. And I will let those simmer a few minutes because if I don't, I don't want to cover it and put it in the oven right away. That could serve to insulate it weirdly, but insulate it won't go through. If I had that happen with something fairly recently, it was annoying, unexpected. So turn it down a little, let it simmer. The oven's preheating. Gosh, it smells good in here, folks. This is pretty pie. Okay, I've got my mash, my instant mash out here. Hooray for some shortcuts. I'm gonna put like this much, about a tablespoon and a half of sour cream in this. I don't want to go crazy with that because it'll change the texture too much and make it too rich. And this is already a nice, hearty thing. And I'm going to add some cheese. I've got some Parmesan that I'm going to mix into. I'm going to put about a half a cup of Parmesan in here. And just mix it up. I might have to use my hands. And I might not use all of this double batch of mash to put on top of the shepherd's pie, but this isn't something you wouldn't eat anyway, right? Cheesy potatoes. Come on now. Matter of fact, I'm lucky if my son doesn't just eat them overnight because he's up gaming all night. Not the happiest with that right now. But you can mix whatever cheese you want in there. Some Gouda, smoked Gouda, cheddar, also great in something like this. All right. Let's see how all our veg feel so that I can figure out if I need to add any more oven time than I normally would. Nope. Great. A little bit of bite on the carrot still, which is fine with me, and the oven will finish up. Probably more salt. Yes, no. A smidge. Like half tea. And some salt and Worcester. And you saw how much pepper I put in there. You still can't even really taste the pepper right now. But the herbs are doing their job. Very nice and herby. Could I stand a little more herb, maybe? Still kind of the last thing I'm waiting on. You know what? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say another bit of herb, maybe another quarter tea. And again, that will serve as a layer. I put them in a little bit later than the ones I put in earlier. So when we're eating, by the time we're eating this, it's going to be in a different layer of when you taste, and then, oh, and then this flavor comes through. And oh, and then this flavor comes through. Beaut. Shake this off. And a lot of this, here we go. I'm going to use my hands. I don't want it totally packed down, but I want to get these taters on here fairly evenly. And the hand's just going to be the best tool. this is a pretty big pot pan, my largest saute pan. You know, obviously do this in cast iron too, but I figured on ending up with making more than what my cast iron will hold. I think my cast iron's only a 12-inch. It's probably a 14. Yeah, I could probably put all this on here. Yeah. I'm giving it a little room. You don't need to worry about it. You can just put it on there. You can smooth it out with a spatula, like if you've got homemade or if you've made your instant mash creamier or whatever mash you got. But I don't mind these little spaces where it will bubble up as it cooks. I'm doing it at 400. Like I said, about 25 minutes. So, trying to think. Oh, my rack's in the wrong place. Hold on, I'll be back in a minute. Oh. I mean, no one's here. I feel like I can just leave. I think I'm safe to put some cheddar on it. I did get the larger shred, so it shouldn't like burn across the top because I'm only planning on having it for 25 minutes. I'll check it after 20 and look. Doing nice, doing fine. If the cheese is getting a little too brown, I'll just, worry about it then. Put some foil on it. Put the lid on it. It's got a lid, this pan. Failing at opening it. Oh, these are the finely shred. Oh, whatever. Well, let's put some cheese on it. Beauty. And maybe more of that parsley I recently dried. Yes, I could have done this after, but I actually wanted to rehydrate the parsley because parsley does have a little bit of nice green flavor if you can let it come out. Okay, we'll get this in the oven. Oh my gosh, it's heavy, folks. All right. I'm going to set the timer for 20. Check it after that to see if I need to cover it with foil in order not to burn the cheese, and then we'll have a beautiful pie to eat. Just love cooking, then your house smells awesome. What was I making yesterday? I don't even remember. But my friend Lori came by to bring me her Christmas tree. We have a bit of a tradition in my house, at my house, and we save our dead Christmas tree, and some of our friends save their dead Christmas trees and bring them by, and on or around May 1st, we have Tree of Fire. We'll usually have a fire at a party, weather permitting, not really for, but for spring, for Beltane. The first time we did it, it was kind of not even intentional, like, oh yeah, shit, it's Beltane. And so now it's like, because I am kind of witchy and people know I'm kind of witchy and some of my friends are witchy, everyone's welcome. Not everyone who comes to Tree of Fire is witchy. But it's a really wonderful, if you've never thrown a dead dried up Christmas tree on a bonfire, yes, this is an experience you want. because it goes up like crazy. And we live kind of outside the city limit. We've got a fire pit that's out in the yard away from everything, so it's safe. And people bring their dead Christmas trees, and we put them on the fire, and it's freaking spectacular. Spectacular. I'm gonna wipe this cutting board down. Well, we've got a little time and stuff in the oven. And what do I have in my hand to put away? Butter. Butter from the heaters. So, anybody else make anything for Pie Day? I think I saw. I swear I saw food and drink people talking about it, but I haven't seen anybody go live with that stuff today. I saw something about. I was on Megabyte's channel last night. He's tomorrow going to be doing some cooking. Megabytes, by the way, BATZ is another great guy who does food and drink. You should follow. And this is way. I think he's doing. It was like all Mario stuff, like mushrooms and. It was late at night. I don't remember everything he said, but man, I've got some halloumi cheese in here I need to fry up soon. It seemed like he was doing, instead of like a Pie Day thing, and I mean Pie Day's today, but Mario Day was a couple days ago. If you're not familiar with that silly pun, it's March MAR10IO. I know some people were doing Mario Day stuff. I'll eat this carrot while I wait. Appetizer. And Diet Cola. Because I went to Publix and got myself some Diet Cola that does not have freaking aspartame, so I can drink it. Everything else is pretty good to go here. All I have is my trash bowl, but now that Rob's actually clearing out the yard, which is something I started talking about and then ADD'd away from it, right? He's been working in the yard today, clearing away. There's like this bush, I think it's ficus or something, at the top of our driveway. Our driveway goes up a hill and then curves around to our house. And this bush has just been growing bigger and bigger. And it's like having an incursion into the driveway. It was like hitting my car and stuff. And he was hacking away at that today to get almost to the ground. If he got far enough, and I don't think he got quite as far as he wanted. We're both really out of shape for doing that kind of thing, but I'm really proud of how far he got. We have an old fence that most of it's broken that goes along the driveway, and we do want to eventually get that ripped out so that we can mow our yard all the way down to the driveway instead of have basically this fence that's just overgrown with shit, and is preventing us from taking out an evil Bradford pear that's growing over there. I'm trying to remember what my Nightbot command is for shout outs. I really got to straighten that out. It'd be funny if it's shout out. Nope. I'll keep experimenting with his name. Maybe I need that signed. Like, I feel like I've gotten shout outs when I'm not online. So there's got to be a way to do it. I think I have. Yeah. I've gotten them when, like, I'm in somebody else's chat. And I know I've got something set up in my bots. Oh, fail. Mm. Oh well, it's okay. Um, the Discord works. Is it the throne one that doesn't give you my throne link? That gives you my throne link. I guess I fixed the Discord one. Okay. Um, I do have another project, which is Tipple Theory, cocktail history and origins of spirits. We do a lot of NA stuff too these days. All last season was. We will be dropping the new season soon. We've got the first couple recorded. We've been banking them because Sean and I both have had some time restrictions, so we haven't actually dropped that yet. I did just finish notes last night, and I do have to tell him. But yeah, definitely check out Tipple Theory if you're at all interested in that. Um, I should add a bot for my to take people to my website. It's 9of12.com because that points you to all the projects, including Heresy and Hearsay, where it's archived on YouTube, I guess. I think that's where that goes now. Geek Grills, which is the website's still up for that. I did that show for like 7 years, 6 or 7 years. Really good show. I'm really proud of that. It was a good run. My book, I wrote a book. It's with a friend. It's the entire it's called Proof Through the Night. It's the full transcript, full accurate transcript, and some other content of Cory Booker's record-breaking Senate speech last April. Wow. I'm going to be writing another book this year um, with Ken about 2025, and it's going to be actual research and corrections and accuracy, like a lot of stuff that's been seen in the news and misreported and misrepresented. We're going to be doing a lot of research, and I guess he's got a, a judge or some kind of lawyer on board too. There's a couple of us going to be working on this kind of project. I mean, it's, for history, for posterity, kind of documenting this place in time, this weird, shitty place in history. We are in the United States right now, and um, it's something important to hold on to for those of us that are hoping we're still on the long arc of history that leads toward justice. What else is there? America's Next Top Podcaster. I came in second in the last season of that. That I think is the last season of that. I don't think they're gonna do it anymore, unfortunately. But it was a great experience. I learned an awful lot. Sorry, I'm talking with my mouth full, but like, it's a um, cooking podcast. I'm not sure what you thought you were getting. When I take it out, I would normally let it set a bit um, before scooping it out, but I want to scoop it out and try it. And to do that in any kind of a timely manner with you folks, I'm going to want to do that not too long after I take it out of the oven. And, oh, where are my trivets? I'll just use my hot plate for a trivet. So it's going to look runnier than it will eventually be um, because it'll still be really, really hot. Um, and I'm going to have to still give it a minute and blow on it so that I can eat it. Because when anything is enclosed with like a crust or um, a topping like that on it, it gets really, really kind of extra hot. So I made my pie round for y'all. Which reminds me, I gotta put that oval dish away so that my son realizes he doesn't have to wash it again. It's still clean. But Rob's been working his ass off in the yard, hopefully tonight, weather permitting, we're gonna have some friends over for a fire. I gotta get more organized and start making show notes for this. Lori came yesterday and was talking about how good it smelled in here, and I don't remember what I was cooking, but it kind of still smelled good in here because I had made the onion masala and made the curry for the stream the day before. It's like one smell after another, and I just love that about cooking. And like, then you have somebody over there like, oh, what's that? You gotta love it. So I'll have be able to get this out to the compost in a bit when Rob gets home from dropping off Fletcher at work. He's taking our youngest to work, and they're getting Ray Ray's. It's like this new chicken um, place in town because they won't eat shepherd's pie. Too many vegetables for Fletcher. Rob doesn't do saucy things or ground meat unless it's in a casing or in a sliced loaf thing. Like he likes doner and gyro and sausage, but he won't eat hamburgers or um, bolognese sauce or meatballs. Or they're very, very picky, and it's not because I'm not a good cook. Because I know I'm a good cook. I feed lots of people all the time. Victor, we'll see how long it takes Victor and I get it through this. I would like to freeze some of it. If he hadn't moved back here, I'd probably be able to freeze a bunch of this and have it probably 4 times at least, depending if it was lunch or dinner portion, but it'll go pretty fast with him here. I mean, I can't blame him. It's good. Um, Despite my size, I'm pretty good at stopping eating though, and just having a serving of something. I usually only eat half of something when I go to a restaurant and save the other half for another meal. I have a bad habit of snacking at night though that Rob is a terrible influence for. I might want to run to the ABC. I should have told Rob to do it while he was out. If we're going to have this fire tonight, and it doesn't look windy, so I think we will, I want to maybe get some of that gin. Um, Cardinal, the North Carolina product, makes a barrel aged gin, which is amazing. It's like a sippable gin because it's been barrel aged. It's brown, kind of like a whiskey, but it's got those juniper herby notes that gin has. I love gin, and I've got big fat ice cubes, and I just think sitting by the fire, that would be lovely. If I weren't worried about over caffeinating that late, I've also got pistachio cream and Irish cream. It'd be really good and like a hot cocoa, but I don't want that much sugar. Caffeine late at night. I don't know. Of course, we also have some red beers. 'Tis the season. St. Patty's Day is coming. I did look today, by the way, at corned beef, and I apologize. I should have planned ahead and watched more carefully, like a month or so ago, or whatever, a week at least. I should have found a good brisket or round price and showed you how to cure your own corned beef. I'll try to remember to do that next year. Even after I talked about it last week after making the pierogies with y'all, I should have thought to like, duh, do that on stream. I've done the sausage, right? I've done bacon, um, but my pea meal bacon and corned beef, which is was my dad's tradition from scratch, kind of spoiled me. I may still get some corned beef from the store, in the store made kind, whatever, store bought kind. Um, if it looks decent and it goes out, because next week it'll probably go on sale. And I mean, it's passable. It's fine. It's not as good as your own home cured because it doesn't have, I don't know, a bunch of red dye and sugar. It doesn't need that. But basically, it's just pickling, and it's so easy, like because it's water and salt and crack powder, and pickling seasoning. Like literally the same kind you use to make pickles. That blend is what you use to make corned beef from scratch. And it only takes like 4 days, 5 days in the brine. And you've got a homemade corned beef, and then you can use like a round. You can use a brisket if you want, and that's the flat square rectangular cut with a large layer of fat on it. But you can use a round, and it's much leaner. Um, but if you don't boil it to falling apart, because then it just turns into shreds, and then it's kind of good for nothing but hash. But if you cook it slower or a little less, you can slice that and make fantastic Reubens. You can get like a lean corned beef um, by using that cut and turning it into a corned beef. That's what I have done more often than the brisket. And a round is a much cheaper cut than a brisket, even on the regular. But a few days before St. Patrick's Day, looking at it today, I was not paying that for store-bought corned beef. But I guess here's hoping, right? If I, wow, I just said next year, didn't I? Next year I'll show you how. I haven't even started doing the cookbook development here yet. I've been starting to wonder if I should keep going with this. Sometimes no one comes by. A little discouraging. But then I've had some very encouraging. Other streamers have been very kindly shouting me out. Um, I got invited to be on that competition that I lost. I'm enjoying hanging out with other food and drink streamers in their streams. But I was doing that before I had my own. But of course, my dear friend Chris sending me the equipment I needed, an anonymous person throne gifting me several things that I needed, um, people joining my giveaways in the Discord, people posting their recipes and their food pictures. I have a Discord channel for that, and uh, a friend posted bread he was making for the first time, and Stormy Sooner, our mod here, she's posted some really great stuff. She made this ribeye with orzo yesterday. It looked so good. So that kind of thing, makes it seem worth doing. I think she said to me the other day, like, having me around, and she will go watch a VOD or whatever, like gives her ideas for stuff she hasn't made in a while, or you get in a rut sometimes. You're making stuff, and I heard a beep that means it's only going to be a minute. I need to check on that. You get in a rut. You're making the same 4 or 5 things. Your family's bored. You start wasting money on takeout just because it's different, even though it's bad for you and expensive. Like sometimes just the right inspiration will come along, and if I can do that, babies. You know what? That's not burning. It looks gorgeous. I'm going to give it another 5. I'm not even sure it needs it, but I'm going to give it. Wait till you see how pretty it is. Holy shit. I'm going to get a trivet out just so I can put it here without burning it and give you a good front and center look. Or I won't. I swear, I had my trivets out as like part of my streaming setup when I first started doing this. Middle trivets. Where are they? I'm gonna have to get out a good, pretty wooden spoon though. Get out a wand. Ooh, I better oil this. I'm gonna oil this pretty spoon to protect it. There's my middle platter. There's my Scully platter. Well, shit. food grade oil. I'm not too worried about. Okay, getting it off. The lighting is terrible, right? I gotta turn the light on. Let me get my light out too. My see if my remote light thing Rob got me is plugged in, so I can get a good picture and you guys can get a good view of this beautiful shepherd's pie. Crap, I'm annoyed at this trivet situation. I mean, it's nothing I ever would have had to have taken down from this setup. I mean, I probably took it down when we ate at holidays at the dining room table, as one does. Well, I will find solutions in just a second before the pie comes out of the oven. Happy Pie Day. Okay. I've got a cutting board that, oh, the trivet's on it. Let's say I have a broken cutting board that I don't want to throw away because just a crack. Here we go. Here's the round one. So respecting pie. This thing needs sanding and painting. Move my little frog. Butte. I don't know why I've got this Nikon thing for my glasses. I don't know what it means. Some part of the technology incorporated with my glasses. Ooh, I'm gonna enjoy this. Okay, so let me see. I got back to Lori said your house smells good. Having a fire, trees, Rob doing the yard work. What else did I circle around and ADHD brain away from and not finish? I know there was something. I know there was something. I've got a bowl and put this in. I wonder if it'll show up. It probably won't show up as good in my black bowl as in a white lighter bowl. Yeah. Any minute now. It's gonna be beautiful. I promise. Oh, that smells good. I'm really hungry. I shouldn't be that hungry. I did eat today. I had leftover pizza from last night. I got new pizza I hadn't gotten before from our local Foxy Roxy's that our buddy Mikey owns. What was it? Last week we got cheeseburger. Last night, oh, I got Hawaiian pizza. I don't want to hear it. I felt like pineapple. So craving pineapple anyway. I've got some pineapple in the house. I want to maybe try to do a bastardized carrot cake by using beets instead of carrots. And okay, it's solid. This is more solid and thick than I thought it might end up. Folks. Oh my God. If you could smell it here. I love that. It's so crazy. And it sucks. It's like, Rob won't eat this because of his particular food aversion. And it's kind of annoying because flavor-wise, he would love this. I know he would. Okay, I've got to get a good picture of this. So, no one's in the chat anyway. Oh, somebody's texting. I'm not sure I need this light with the overhead on, but I'm gonna turn it on anyway to get a good. Yeah, it makes the colors brighter, nicer. Some ish on the rim thing here. No, that's too shiny. I don't want it too shiny. No, I think what I got is good. Ah. Let's turn that light off. All right. Check my messages. Let that cool sit just a second. Don't burn my face off with it. They had pistachios till I asked. Unless I'm too late. That's okay. I was going to ask you to maybe stop at the ABC and get me some aged cardinal. Man, apparently Starbucks still has the pistachio. Also, if I knew you were going there, I would have had you drop off my ring, LOL. Even though it's technically out of season, we like the Starbucks pistachio flavors for the coffee, and this looks like it thickened more perfectly than I thought it would. I was making excuses like, oh, it might be runny, and I'm thinking that might not actually be a problem. I want to use a fork, I think. Oh, here so you can see all the meat and veg. Yeah, actually it thickened up to about perfect. It'll be, it's not like dry, but it'll be a nice outright casserole texture by the looks. Those peas showing their color for a nice photo. Oh. I mushed a little there. Then when I did a bowl shot too. Oh, wow. Okay. You guys like helping out? Oh. Can you hear me? I yeah. Knocked my mic off my apron somehow. And why it would stick to my hardwood floor? I must have caught a nail. And now it's upside down. And there. Sorry. All right. So what else? Bowl photo? Do I need a bowl photo? Don't know. I mean, it seems like the right thing to do. No, not a selfie. Okay, the bowl photo definitely needs a light. Da, 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 da. Just so it's not weird shadows. Don't. I don't know. I'll use one or both or none of these, I guess. Probably. I should use whatever longest one because Twitch is doing something. I touched the hot pan. Really annoying and weird. And if any of you have been running into this, when you post when you add a different thumbnail for like your VODs, it just has a place to add a thumbnail. And I send the pictures to myself. I email them so that they're smaller because they need to be smaller than they come straight out of my camera. And when I add them to as a thumbnail for these posts, it's doing some weird shit where it's doubling it. And I know it's not doubled because I've gotten it to myself, I've exported it to a different format, I've trimmed it if I needed to. Like, it's doubling that and not letting me, because like there's an in-app, in Twitch streamer tools part of the app where you can, cut it basically, and center it the way you want. And it doesn't let me do that. It just has the choice to go ahead and choose it, and then it shows up whatever part of it wants. Hopefully they fix it soon. Okay, let's give this a taste, because that's the ultimate. That's where the proof is, right? I'm actually a little nervous about it being so perfectly like gravy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. I think using the instant mash, and from the look of how this layers down into there, um, they're creamy on top, and then when you get down into the bite a little, it's like fluffy. I think some of the starch from those being a little more freeform than if it were a freshly mashed potato, um, further thicken the gravy just a little bit. And I would take that into account next time, that I could be or even just more liberal with the liquid. But I mean, it's not like it's dry. It's freaking good. Um, and the texture did come out great. The instant didn't go weird. Um, would I know? Is my question. I might know if I were thinking about it and trying to pick it out, that was an instant mash on top. Um, but it definitely doesn't matter. It doesn't affect it adversely. It's got that nice crispy top, the cheese in there, um, and then you bite into it and they go creamy. The lamb is lovely. The sauce isn't like greasy or fatty at all. I'm really glad I did do the carrots part from scratch. Like I said, you don't have to. Whew. But the texture evened out perfectly with like the peas and carrots and everything. But the carrot flavor stands out. I think a little more, definitely a little more than if I were to use the frozen ones. All right. Cool. There we go. Happy Pie Day. I hope you enjoy watching this. I hope you try to make it yourself. I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to post a recipe, but I mean, if you really, really want to know, I can post in the Discord in the recipe section, like just what basic ingredients and herbs I used. Methods are, there's a million shepherd's pie recipes online that will give you the basic idea. And like I say, give it a shot. Don't panic. This isn't something that has to be perfect. This is exemplifies home cooking. It's a one pot meal. People were asking for one pot meals. This is a one pot meal. You can use your cast iron or anything that can go in the stove. Get it all done here. Well, I mean, I guess not technically with the mashed potatoes. because, you know, you have to use a bowl. You could use a teapot to heat the water for that if you needed. Um, you could also buy already made mashed potatoes to throw on top of this. You could buy a pre-made pie crust and throw it on top and make a pie. So essentially, a one-pot meal. And yeah, good home cooking. Glad I made this. Glad to see you today, and I look forward to cooking with you soon.